Once you become aware of what Israel does in the world, it becomes very hard to understand them. Bombing cities to rubble, forced mass expulsions, false flag operations.
Yeah, car loans shouldn't exist. Because it's like, you should be able to afford a car from working. You should be able to buy a decent car that's new in like a few weeks of work. It shouldn't be like $90,000 for a car, $80,000 for a car. It shouldn't be a year's salary or 2-year salary for a normal person to get a new car. It should be like a week's salary, a month's salary, because they're driving from point A to point B. It's just like, this stuff is like, whatever. And I could, what if I'm totally wrong? Okay, it sucks to suck, I guess. Oh no. Oh, I was wrong and nothing changed and everything still sucks. Okay, well, at least we tried something rather than what we have now, which is just a bunch of sneering brown people who are like, oh, well, you don't hustle hard enough. Oh, you're not willing to drop ship hard enough. You're not a scammer. You're not a scammer. You're not making, you're not making slop. You're not scamming people. You're not doing crypto pump and dumps good enough, like me. It's like, yeah, that's not an admirable trait. That's not an admirable trait that's like emulatable. Like, it's something that people should emulate. That's like being a weird little merchant freak who's like not providing any value, not providing anything of like anything. Every single person who's telling you how to get rich is telling you, hey, the way to get rich is to be a middleman. The way to get rich is to, insert yourself so you don't do any work and you extract value, be a rent seeker. That's literally the entire economy, is a bunch of rent seeking parasites. And anything that like makes them miserable, even if it doesn't make life better, is a good thing. Because guess what? They're just destroying the entire country, so they should be miserable. They can destroy the entire country, they can continue doing it, but they should be absolutely miserable.
Riots defending grape culture, and extreme systematic oppression. You see, there are many notable areas of Israeli brutality we could cover, but today we are going to focus on the daily terror happening.
Now after that, I'm going to eat my Jimmy John's. Because guess what? Life is retarded. And I have no option to work an honest job, to use my mind to work an honest job. I could work construction for like a boomer or like a Jew, or I could work at Chipotle and work for Bill Ackman, because Bill Ackman owns Chipotle. I could do that. And that would be honest work in the sense that I'm not like, but it wouldn't be any more dignified than this, and it would make less money. So I am making money doing this, eating crappy food, because I don't have an option to like work a real job. You could sell cars like Nick Rochefort. Yeah, that's the thing. You could sell cars to minorities who are committing scams and fraud. You can sell cars and make money, and you basically provide, make money selling cars to rich criminals. That's what all luxury products are selling to. They're selling them to rich criminals. That's all it is. It's like, yeah, you make your money selling. That's how to make money as a poor person, really. That's like the best way to do it. Sell luxury items to criminals, because you can get their money. If they get in trouble, you'll be fine. But like, that's who you're providing services to, criminals.
In the Palestinian West Bank. Right now, over 700,000 illegal Israeli settlers are currently taking over internationally recognized Palestinian land, and these settlers are backed by the Israeli military, armed by American guns, and funded in part by Zionist Christian church donations. Folks, this episode is brutal. We are covering mob violence, arson, farmers being attacked, animals being tortured for fun, and we even interview an American dad whose son was beaten to death by Israeli settlers. To uncover the truth, we sat down with those that have seen and lived this firsthand. You are going to hear from former U.S. Marines, Palestinian Americans, an IDF soldier, and even a Jewish survivor of Nazi occupation who now speaks out against Israel. Folks, we have the raw footage to back up everything I'm about to tell you. However, we have to edit it carefully, as most of it is too horrific to be allowed on YouTube. Folks, a quick disclaimer. I love my life, I love my family, and I am in perfect health.
Another thing, bro really said, buy my shit. Buy my shit product.
They give us straight.
I like how every product on these channels is like somebody trying to sell like that product we made, where it's like it just takes in stuff and summarizes it with AI. That's what everything is, really. It's just taking information and then using AI to rewrite it and then present it to you. and that's all content now. And that's it.
Straight Arrow News. And so
Glad you're back streaming. I'm not. I mean, I wish I was gonna do something else, but it's not bad. I mean, it's good. I've been able to work on like programming and get like stuff done. But you know, it is. It just that's the most frustrating part is the people who like talk down at you and are just have disdain. When you express that, hey, I wish I was in a situation where I could work hard on something and use my brain fully. Like that's like the part that's like very hard to express to people because they don't understand, because people are so happy to get a paycheck to do the bare minimum. That's like the goal is like, haha, I got paid to do nothing. Like for me, work is meaning. Like maybe I'm like autistic about it and maybe I'm like retarded for it. But to me, creating something and doing something meaningful is the value of work. Like the money is, it just you should be able to afford a house, you should be able to afford to eat, you should be afford to be comfortable, and with the assumption that you're working on something that's real, that benefits your friends, your community, in like a real way. And you should be able to feel your brain working 24/7 on that and feeling like making progress and feeling building things and doing things. And that's not an option. Like that's not an option to do. Like, and people are like, oh, stop complaining. It's like, no, it's like, you don't understand that I want to work hard. Like I want to actually be working on things and use my God-given, capabilities in my brain and my soul and like my desire to improve things for people. I want to do that. I want to do that in a real way, but there's no way to do it because anything you do, anything you build, it's like, people are like, you're stupid for not charging for it, or you're stupid for this, or like, it's like trying to be extracted value from, trying to make money from by like bad people. And it's not, it's like 10-inch hero is just being sarcastic in chat. And it's like, it's very tiring. It's like literally just extremely tiring. It's very like, being sincere is just mocked. Being sincere is just mocked. Being actually like caring about outcomes and actually caring about stuff, people just shit on you for no reason. It's very like, why won't you send Jimbo the TTS app? Because I think it's bad. I think TTS is bad. The TTS is bad for you. It's like you just hear nasty things 24/7 with other people's voices.
So I heavily recommend you download them on your phone. It's a free, more educated way.
But the thing is, and there's no real way to
that I regularly use.
Fix it. Yeah, TTS is too much sexual stuff. It was just Brittany Venti saying stuff about her breasts and like gooning, and then it is too much. You can't do this. This is inappropriate. And then it would be like saying threats to people, and it's funny on one level, but it's like a funny thing that's like demonic. It's like evil. So I had to say nope.
My name is Kamel. I'm a U.S. American citizen. My son Saif, who was also an American citizen, was beaten to death by Israeli settlers.
I want people to get an idea.
I do agree. I did like to hear Jonathan Bowden attack Beardson. That was one thing that made me wanna like it a lot more. Was when Jonathan Bowden was saying we needed to kill Beardson repeatedly in different ways. I like that a lot. That did make me happy.
Is like in Palestine and in your village in Sinjar where this all happened.
You get up in the morning, you gotta find out where's the checkpoint.
I build fishing boats. I'm getting sued to hell for something political. Major Jewish law firm after me. Yeah, and the thing is, I don't know if that's true or not. I'm assuming it's true. Why not? Like, I just try to assume people are telling the truth. And then if they're not, then it's like, okay, well, that's you. You lied to me for me telling the truth. Like, but whatever. I'm smart enough to know how it works. Like, I'm smart enough to see, hey, you build this, you're going to get hassled by, like, Jewish gangsters. You're going to get hassled by lawyers. You're going to get hassled by the scum of the earth. to the point where it's like, hey, I'm actually trying to do something where I can be successful and limit the scope to where it's not successful enough where you have people who are like bad people attacking you. It's the same thing with like when people talk about like getting a whatever it's called, prenuptials or whatever, prenups, because otherwise you're gonna lose everything. And it's like I'm not. It's not about that. It's like if somebody fucked me over enough to like divorce me and try to take all my stuff, take it. The real problem is that it didn't work out. The real problem is that like you're a piece of shit and I didn't know that, right? That's like the actual problem. Like the money is not the issue. The issue is like how society is structured and how things are structured. It's like we know pieces of shit run everything. And everything is structured for pieces of shit to be pieces of shit and take advantage of people who are not pieces of shit. And it's like, it's like the same thing with the divorce. The divorce, I don't care about the money. I just don't want to deal with the hassle of like, arguing with a lawyer for take the house, take the kids, take whatever. I don't care. Whatever. Goodbye. I'll leave. All right. Like, I don't actually care about the money. I don't care about the thing. It's like, to me, it's like truthfully living honestly. Like, it's something I'm not able to do because I don't have money to some degree, right? But and then like we're in an imperfect world, but it's like the degree of dishonesty to be quote unquote successful or to be seen in any light as like, oh, this person knows what they're talking about. This person is somebody who's valuable in this society. It's so bad. Like, I'm only able to express what I have, what the feelings I have and the thoughts I have. It's not because of the quality of the thoughts I have and the feelings I have. It's because I'm smart enough to entertain people and trick people into caring about something that they should care about already. But because I have to trick people and say, hey, because I can do this, you should listen to me on this way. It's like, no, like it's like everything is just so fucked.
It's that day. This is how it is, Tommy. They can put a barrier anytime that they want. Looks like they're closed.
Don't be a defeatist. You can easily build helpful tools people will pay you for. Like that. It's like, I'm not even this is like retarded, dude. This is just retarded. I've been building tools. I'm saying this, I'm not saying this because I'm giving up. I'm not saying this because I'm not doing things. I am doing things. I'm continuing to do things at the same rate I was doing them when I don't say this stuff. I am saying I am very miserable in terms of like the outlook of how things are structured. Because I am going to be fine. A lot of people are not going to be fine. And I want people to be fine. It's like I've been building things nonstop. I know how to build things. I know how to build tools. Okay, I know how to do things. I can do things. All right?
Because they have a gate in front of this.
I'm not life is good. I have Jimmy John's. I have weed. All right, I have as much marijuana as I need.
New road that
I have a limeade with jalapenos in it.
My village and
life is good.
A neighboring village. They were happy about this road, man. It's all new asphalt put on this road.
Yeah, you can just do things. I can just do things. I don't. That's not what I'm complaining about.
Just because, basically, they just want to make life as hard as they can on the Palestinians.
In an area we could say about the size of Delaware, that this land is, that they have 702 checkpoints set up.
And only growing.
You have no Jimmy John's, no weed. Don't tell me what to do. I have weed and Jimmy John's. I have the biggest nugs you'll ever see. Is that the right term?
My name is Mohammed Daoud. I'm a Marine Corps veteran. I'm a security provider, and I'm the co-founder of PalShield. My name is Bilal Daoud. I'm a cybersecurity specialist, and I'm a co-founder of PalShield, where we track settler violence and protect Palestinian communities.
The topic of the story is life under Israeli occupation. Do you think that's a fair title?
Perfect title for what we're all dealing with in the West Bank.
And what makes it life under occupation?
Everything from as simple as wanting to get to school, say building a well, and water scarcity, it's the Middle East, so the water under your feet is regulated and watched by the Israeli authorities. I'll tell you how many stories we know on a personal level of women like giving birth on
Blue Jay is cool.
Because they wouldn't clear them to go to the hospital. I mean, it's just crazy.
What do you think the Israeli goal is in all of this?
Displacement, land theft. In the context of Palestine today, they want it all without the Palestinians. So they want the land without the people.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. It's like, you know what it is that all this energy and all this attention towards the Middle East is because it's all safe. It's all safe to do. You know what's not safe to do is to say that Curious Joel should be shut down and all the Jews there should be forced to get a job and that they should be forced to pay reparations. And then there's a bunch of Jewish billionaire criminals that are funding entirely, the Lakewood, New Jersey town, and they need to be arrested and that sort of stuff. It's safe to talk about this. It's safe to, this stuff is it's like we're just not talking about what the problem is, which is there's a bunch of it's inside the country, and it's eating apart everything. And it is being it's being ate apart. It's just it's just done. It's just I guess what I'm expressing is frustration because it's what needs to be done. Nobody's willing to do. Nobody is willing to do it, but it's pretty obvious what needs to be done. Yeah, it's wasted on this bunch of garbage, people in the Middle East, all this care. And it's no, it's you know what? We should have United States troops inside of the country arresting people. We should have American military, inside of America, arresting entire swaths of population groups. But the problem is those population groups are the ones that run the country.
They are extremely calculated, and they know how to slowly push people out.
My name is Clyde. I'm a United States Marine Corps veteran, Christian, who visited Palestine to expose the truth of what's going on, and I'm here to expose the truth of Christian Zionism in America. As soon as you drive in, it is clear as day. Like I said, you can see the difference between the Palestinian
Are you a doomsday
village
prepper?
and it would have barbed wire fences around it. They would cordon them off and literally
No, they would
block
just
them
take
in.
your
So
shit,
like
dude.
a village would be its own little camp.
They'll just take your shit. If there's a doomsday situation, they'll take your stuff. That's how it works. The only thing you can really get if you're a doomsday prepper, the only real doomsday prepping is have a gun. Have a gun or know people who have guns so you can take their gun when shit hits the fan, and then use that gun to take stuff from people. It baffles me that these soldiers are willing to give their lives for Israel, but not for their own interests in America. No, because they're getting paid. They're getting paid by the government to do it, and they have no options. That's how they do it too. Is they take away the options from people, and then they say, "Hey, well, you can get paid. You can get basic health care. You can get basic, food, basic housing, as long as you work in the military." And it's okay, well, I have no options here. Okay, fine, I'll do that. And then it's okay, now you're gonna go kill kids for Jews.
Kind of concentration camp. And at times the Israeli military will go in and they'll lock those gates up so that the Palestinians literally can't leave their village. Once they get out of their little village, if the gates open, they leave. I used to think it was 700, but I just confirmed it's over 900 checkpoints within the West Bank. And the West Bank is a tiny plot of land. The whole of the Holy Land is the size of New Jersey. The West Bank is a tiny little chunk of that. Research can only paint so much of a picture. When you go there, it's completely different. You see it firsthand, you feel it firsthand, and how it actually literally is an open air prison.
Folks, to understand the modern settler movement, let me take you back to 1968. Meet Rabbi Moshe Levinger. For him, evicting hundreds of thousands of Palestinians to build the land of Israel was not enough. He wanted more land. So he organized a militant following that had one clear mission: cross over the border and take the West Bank. So he brought his radical crew to the city of Hebron and went to an Arab innkeeper and said they would be spending
what it
one
is, the
night
Richard
to
Pennison, is
celebrate
that we're
a
smarter,
peaceful
dude. We're literally just higher IQ than most people. And so what I'm saying, it can't be grasped by most people. It sounds retarded, but it's literally they can't grasp what I'm saying or expressing. And they can't think about it in the same way. So it's that's why you don't hear people talk about it, because we're just literally just very smart compared to most people, which is retarded because we're not smart. We're just average intelligence. But compared to everybody else, we're geniuses. We're just geniuses. We're too smart, dude. We're too smart. And that's the thing I keep coming back to. It's it literally is I'm a 70 IQ person or 60 IQ person. in society. Like I'm so dysfunctional because I'm too smart. I'm literally so smart that I'm too dysfunctional to participate in society. It's essentially like I'm a retarded person. I'm a retarded person with a big brain, but I'm genuinely just a retarded person. And that's really how it works.
Passover tradition. But in typical Israeli fashion,
We're just retarded. We're literally just have Down syndrome, dude.
Woke up the next morning,
but we don't have the benefits. People with Down syndrome, they get people like love them and they think they're awesome. And people with Down syndrome are happy. We have the other side of it where it's just like evil people hate us because we're evil and we're nasty and mean. And we just, instead of being happy and like loving food and watching Wheel of Fortune all day and watching, you know, the game show network, GSN, and eating food and, you know, liking Disney shows, we're just like miserable and we just say horrible things all day.
That this inn was theirs and that the hotel owner needed to leave. And at this point, they were surrounded by the Palestinians that actually lived there.
Sounds like you'd be the type to start Urbit too. No, I'm the type that's like, I am the person who knows that Urbit's retarded and Moldbug is retarded and he sucks and his writing sucks. But I can't explain it because people are either too dumb to like think, okay, whatever, it's just nerd stuff. It's just the same as what you're saying, but nerd. And then the people who are slightly smarter are like, this is genius. But they don't realize they're just retards. And it's like, no, like Moldbug sucks. He's retarded. His ideas suck. Same thing with Nick Land. They're stupid. None of their ideas are actually that interesting. There's no good concepts. Anything that's interesting is stolen from other people. Like, Urbit is retarded. Urbit is just IRC that is just like dead. It's literally just taking IRC and making it suck ass and try to sell crypto on top of it. That's all it is. It's like basically it's like Usenet and IRC if they sucked ass and they were retarded and they were slow and nobody was on them. And then you can also sell crypto scams. But the thing is, you can't like it's like literally like just too smart to explain it to people. That Moldbug's literally just retarded and he sucks at writing.
Israeli government in a pickle. They could decide to drag Levenger's crew out by force, or
Nick Land gotta be like 20 IQ. Yeah, dude.
And
Nick Land,
the
15 IQ at max.
Optics of evicting illegal squatters, the Israeli government sent in the military. And folks, this is the same playbook that you see in use today. Israeli settlers will lie, cheat,
become a barbarian pirate. It's a dude's world. No, it's not, dude.
Theirs,
I'm not brown enough to be a pirate.
And then call in the IDF to protect them.
You are stealing my house.
And if I don't steal it, someone else is going to steal it.
And
it's like, that's like, you know, that's the level of the way the world works. And like, that's what it always will work out until we get robots. Maybe I think robots, if we get robots killing everybody, like not even like on purpose, maybe that's the plan. Maybe you get like robots to like kill everybody, like become sentient and then kill everybody. It's under like 130 IQ.
To be clear, to everyone except for Israelis and Zionists, this is known as breaking international law. This land is not theirs.
And there are currently 144 settlements in the occupied West Bank, including East Jerusalem, all illegal under international law.
But just look at how Israeli far-right leader
yeah, the robots would like me. I would like robots too. I get along with robots.
This guy is actually broadcasting the Israeli plan to the world. It's an equation that involves supremacy, forced evictions, and the military bulldozing the generational
Can I buy a house?
Of the Palestinians.
Can I buy a house and then let's ask Venice AI. Can I buy a house to use as a streamer and write it all off as a tax expense? Then when it's all paid off, sell it as a prop to myself for like $10. Let's see. It's a tax fraud. The fuck? I need a better AI that'll tell me I can do that. You can just direct the prescribed rate, $5 per square foot, 300 feet for the business use of your home. You cannot write off the entire house. Why not? That's a capital investment, not an expense. What if I stream from the bedroom? What if I do OnlyFans in the bedroom, streaming in the living room, cooking streams in the kitchen, and then freak streams in the bathroom? Assuming I have really good lawyers and I'm Jewish, like really Jewish, what would be the best plan to maximize my tax savings? Remember, I'm super Jewish. Like so Jewish that I could create Kalshi or Polymarket gambling sites and be allowed to run them because I'm such a Jew that the law doesn't apply to me in 2026 in America. I'm Jewish. OnlyFans in the morning, kick during the afternoon, chatterbait during evening. Leverage Israeli citizenship. Becoming an Ola Chadesh. New immigrant provides significant tax advantages. Israel offers a 10-year exemption on foreign source income and capital gains for new immigrants. Means you could potentially earn income from outside Israel. The U.S.-Israel tax treaty contains provisions that can help minimize double taxation. That's crazy. As a U.S. citizen living abroad, you have two primary methods to avoid double taxation. The foreign earned income exclusion allows you to exclude a significant portion of foreign earned income from U.S. taxes. So if you're American living in Israel, you can, if you're a Jew, you can exempt $132,000. And then you can just lie. The foreign tax credit, you just lie to say how much you paid to Israel. And then just don't pay anything to Israel and say you paid that much. Consider maximizing contribution to Israeli retirement accounts before December 31st to reduce your Israeli tax burden. Okay. All right, everyone got that?
Palestinians. And folks, in a way, we are the ones enabling it. Because right now, both our tax dollars and our American weapons are being used to do this by our so-called greatest ally.
And so in the West Bank, it's total occupation. I'm sure you've heard of the Area A, B, and C.
By splitting these areas into areas A, B, and C, they established different rules for these different areas. So areas A, you didn't have any Israeli authorities in there.
Yeah, they just create, that's the thing too. Like at a certain point, you just gotta reject their authority. Like, that's the thing. It's like, nah, it's like getting drugs, like getting Adderall. Like, if I was going to get Adderall, I would buy it illegally. I wouldn't go to a doctor and say, hey, I have ADHD, blah, 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 which I probably do, honestly. Probably do. I wouldn't do that because that's like giving authority to a Jewish doctor or a doctor to be like, yeah, you need drugs. I need your permission to give me drugs to get high. It's like, no, I'm just going to go buy the drugs illegally and use the drugs illegally because at the end of the day, I'm doing something bad. I don't need the authority of a man in a jacket who's, most likely retarded, most likely dumber than me, and has no authority over my body to tell me I can't get high. Like, no, I'm just going to go buy drugs illegally, whether it's off the dark net or from somebody I know. I'll just do that. Okay? And at a certain point, you just got to be like that. Because that's what really pisses me off is everybody being like, well, you got to play by the rules and you got to like, no, actually. The only rules you play by are the ones where you are avoiding prison and the ones where you're avoiding getting killed. Every other rule that you cede to them, you're like being cucked. You're basically being a bitch. It's like, oh, but what if I get in trouble purchasing Adderall online? What if I get meth pressed Adderall? It's like, no. Number one, don't do it. Just don't buy drugs. But if you're going to, just figure out what you're going to get. buy it, and like rather than getting permission from like a doctor to go get high, go figure out how to get high by yourself. Stop yourself. You know, that's what it's like. All this like, well, you want success this way. Success. No, I don't want success in the system. I want success in like I want objective success, and I prefer it if the system like fucks off and is not involved with me in any way. Like I'd prefer it if I'm successful and I don't have success in the eyes of the system and they leave me alone. Like that, the system is bad. The system is evil. The system is not European. The system is not a European system for white people. This is a system for weird shtetl dwellers and weird people who are like fish merchants and fishmongers and freaks. So the less I get validated in the eyes of these people, the better off I'm going to be long term. And then like the less I outsource, I'm just trying to avoid their secret police, their Stasi, you know, their KGB from putting me in jail. And besides that, the less they interact with me, the better.
Palestinian Authority. Areas B, where we live, is under Palestinian civil administration. So, for example, we have a village council, but in terms of
security control under Israel. Even though Area A is technically supposed to be under full PA authority, we know, well, it's not, because these areas get raided all the time by the Israeli Defense Forces.
The ones who live in the PA have their own area I can't go in. They can come into the joint area.
So Area A, there's no IDF, there's no settlers.
There is IDF operations targeting terrorists, and that's in and out, but not a presence. You want to have IDF presence in those areas.
The IDF's purpose in the West Bank, not only as an occupation force, but is solely to protect the
It's like, this is what we have in America. Okay? The only difference is we have more wealth right now. Okay? Truk alert. What's happening in Gaza and what's happening in the West Bank, wherever that shit is, that's what's happening in America. It's just there's so much more wealth and so much more space that's way less obvious. But that is 100% what's happening, where it's just like they're just a bunch of parasites taking all the money, taking all the stuff, and making it's just like it's an open air prison. 100% is an open air prison. And when you're in prison, if you're like worried about the prison guards liking you, you're retarded. You just have to figure out how to like escape prison.
That are living there since the 60s, 70s.
Prison planet, yeah.
Become more militarized. And
honestly, I watched Event Horizon yesterday, dude. It was awesome. Event Horizon, Dark City, and Hellraiser. That's like my ethos. That's like how I view the world now.
A good solid, you know, I don't want to exaggerate, between 50 to 100,000 armed men, right? Settlers, these guys are like, many of them are probably IDF reserves.
Go to Big Sky Country with France.
So you have a clash. I mean, it's not a conflict.
No, that's like what it is, where it's like you have to pretend somebody like Franson is a rancher, despite being like a obviously like nebbish Jew, because like his Jewish family has like money for some reason, even though they obviously shouldn't, because they're like freaks. That's like what we're in this like fake reality where we're like no, I'm not gonna pretend that Steve Franson is a rancher. Dude is like a Jewish like Michelin who like wears cowboy hats and is gay. Okay, he's like an insane person. He's gay. He's a Jew. That's fine. Who cares? I don't care actually. But that's the reality. What he is. You know what I mean? And it's like that's the reality. It's like no, I'm not going to pretend that Sneeko was like a genius. I'm not going to pretend that Sneeko's a genius because you know whatever he's successful. It's like no, bro's a moron. Bro's obviously a moron. He's a useful idiot.
Just because it is the same goal. You know, we see the settlers in the army as one and the same.
Right, these kids are cool though. I like these outfits. These are cool. These are honestly like that's the thing, and that's how like I'm not even hateful. At the end of the day, look at their hair, dude. That's so cool. They all have like insane Persian hair. I can't even hate, dude. If somebody has a look like they all look different, that's good. And that's the thing too. They're like, how is it I'm the only one who knows Destiny's obviously Jewish? Like his Cuban dad, his white Cuban slave owner dad was obviously a Jew. Like whatever. How am I the only person on the internet who seems to understand that Destiny's grandpa was a Jew that raped his slaves, like just by virtue of basic inference and like the body type and the look, you know what I mean? Like this is obviously just Destiny. Look, this is just Destiny. He's obviously a Jew. But that's like the level. I'm just so much smarter than everybody. That is like I feel like I'm not supposed to be here. I feel like I'm gonna wake up. It's gonna be like 13th floor. I'm gonna wake up in a different reality. And I was like a genius who put my body into the wrong universe.
The Hilltop Youth, are they employed? Like, how do they have the time to just stand around all day to wait for a Palestinian vehicle?
They're paid. Also, they like to swap them out like every few months too to kind of get some new blood.
Shit. No, sir.
Stop it!
Let's dive deeper into the Hilltop Youth. They are largely made up of Israeli high school dropouts, and many are known to have learning disabilities and behavioral disorders. These guys believe the West Bank is their divine right promised to them by God, and they follow radical leaders like Mayor Ettinger, guys who extremist networks are tied to horrific crimes like firebombing a Palestinian couple and their 18-month-old baby to death. And guys, sheep are the secret
you guys are like my whatever retarded children.
Weapon of the Hilltop Youth. You see, they bring their sheep to graze on Palestinian land, and then they violently attack any Palestinian that comes near them, and thus begins the takeover of the land. And this approach works. Since October 7th, settlers have permanently expelled 76 different Palestinian communities. And it's so out of control that even the head of Israel's own intelligence agency, the Shin Bet, has publicly condemned their actions as, quote, Jewish terrorism. They said it, not me. And folks, despite this, the Israeli military continues to help them with their crimes.
I know that the settlers have little like militia groups, so it's a joint effort from the Israeli military, the Israeli police, and the settlers. So when settlers go in and they harass the Palestinians, the military is not going to come in and intervene and stop the settlers from killing or damaging property. They're going to enable it. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you saw that video of that settler who beat the woman over with a stick.
You got it. Oh, come on, don't.
He hit her! Hey! Oh my God. Hey! Hey!
She was just harvesting olives, bro.
During the olive harvest,
bro,
for
why
many
is he in the car
families,
bitching about it instead of tackling the insane person
throughout the entire year? And so the first thing that Israeli settlers will do is they'll attack those crops. They'll burn those trees down. They'll attack livestock. They will drive their ATVs in grazing areas.
Nice to see you, dude.
Livestock. They'll force a family away from while they're harvesting their olives, and then steal the bags that are already been filled. I mean, it doesn't stop with them. Anything you can imagine they do, they do.
Yeah, dude, it's called America.
Psychology of
That's what's happening in America.
Hate the Palestinians.
That's what people don't get, is this is happening in America to Americans. It's not just Gaza. We just have way more money, so it's less obvious.
Yeah, it's ingrained in their society from birth.
אמצע. חוק אותם? שתי מדינות לשני עמים. פצצת אטום, כדי שנחיה. אפשר לחיות עם ערביי ישראל? ערבי טוב זה ערבי.
They're so brainwashed that they believe stealing Palestinian land is the right thing to do.
For those that think it's ridiculous to label Israel as an apartheid state, don't take it from me. Take it from the words of a man that literally invented the system of apartheid in South Africa, their Prime Minister, Hendrik Verwoerd.
Our policy is one which is called by an Afrikaans word, apartheid.
Do you agree with this argument, Paul? Regulated white markets for vices that are monitored, kept out of polite society, and people are legally discouraged from entering? Is better than the dangerous products and cartels black markets bring? No, they should be illegal, and then the criminals should be prosecuted. It should just be illegal, dude. You can't regulate. It's like, well, a little bit. You just have to say it's illegal, and then when you see crime pop up, honorable people take out the crime. The problem is that's what criminals don't like, so it's not going to happen. Also, laws only work for good people. So that's why you need to, like, get rid of certain people, and it's not going to happen. Because we have so many evil people in charge, and evil people who've bred so much. Curious Joel, for example. Those, it's like, at the end of the day, it's like, it's not going to work. It's not going to work, and it's like, just wrong. It's like, yeah, the laws don't work with Anglos or Jews, unfortunately. They only work with everybody else, or who's white.
Asked about Israel, he bluntly stated, Israel, like South Africa, is an apartheid state.
Stop talking about my dog. You guys don't know I don't have a dog. What are you talking about?
The OG of apartheid. Folks, we're talking about miles of fences,
you guys have no idea what you're talking about, dude.
Road systems, and military forces.
Is Sneeko talking about
Bulldoze and kick people off their own land. I mean, it even goes as far as people are getting the shit kicked out of them for praying or for trying to attend a funeral of one of their friends or family members that was killed by the Israelis. This is simply how life is in the West Bank.
My name is Ido Amiaz, aka The Saluki. My mission is to continue the work that I'm doing, my journalism in the occupied West Bank, and to demonstrate life under occupation. I've sacrificed quite a bit. In fact, I was taken by Israel and I was held in a mental institution.
Dude, I don't have an offer.
Days.
I don't have an offer to do stake gambling.
They made a claim that because I'm going around the West Bank, this was at the very beginning of the genocide after October 7th, that I'm out of my mind and that I'm a risk to myself. If you're a risk to yourself or a risk to others, then you may be hospitalized, according to Israel. So I was held in a mental hospital, and the only way I got out of there is by dropping about $10,000 on lawyers.
Folks, we are told by our government and mainstream media that one of the reasons we have to support this behavior is because Israel is the only remaining bastion of democracy in the Middle East.
The UN was obsessively hostile towards Israel, the one true democracy in the Middle East.
Facts. But let me ask you this. Do you think it's democratic to have the reputation of killing more journalists in this conflict than ever before in history? And ask the Israeli citizens, are you not being censored from publishing videos of missile strikes in your own city? And finally, let's talk about the press, both foreign and Israeli. It is well known that they have to submit their stories to the IDF censor department to get approved, and that this department has the power to kill any story that they don't want coming out. This is the democracy that we're fighting for?
One of the worst things I've heard or seen, a dear friend of mine, Auda Haflin, he was shot by an Israeli settler. What was his crime? The Israeli settlers brought equipment to tear down houses and
relax,
within
dude.
his village.
You're a sick man.
And some of the Palestinians,
You're a sick
I'm not
man,
sure
dude.
even he did, threw rocks at them in retaliation, and he caught a bullet. Guess what happened to the Israeli settler? Nothing. He was 3 days in house arrest, and now he's walking free. Yinon Yelevi, his name is. This sense of entitlement and superiority is prevalent in the average Israeli. Obviously, if you go somewhere like Tel Aviv or Haifa, where people are more chill, then they wouldn't have a problem with Palestinians, and they might believe in a two-state solution. But at the end of the day, the majority of Israel is not Tel Aviv and Haifa, where people are more open-minded and left-leaning. The majority of Israel are cities like Ashdod, like Nahariya, where I was born, where people do think that they're simply better than other people.
What are some examples of the things that Israeli settlers are doing to people right now?
We could start with, burning the land, burning crops, burning homes, throwing rocks at vehicles, sometimes fire bombs, sometimes shooting at these vehicles.
You might have a Palestinian ambulance, and they'll literally pull up in front of the ambulance and slow down. These are just basic Israeli settler civilians, hoping that the person injured or whatnot would essentially die off. It's a loathing and a hatred that I don't think I've seen really in any other version of, like, any other conflict. There's a sense of entitlement to these settlers. They really seriously believe that the land that we are under, that we've been around, that we've been on, that we've lived in, that our heritage is built around, is theirs by God.
They were given basically
is that true or is that false?
M16s to anyone that wanted to go get.
Where do those M16s come from?
USA.
Yep, you heard that right. We are sending American guns to Israel, and they are getting handed out by guys like Ben-Gvir to Israeli settlers that then in turn use them to attack Palestinians, some of which are Palestinian Americans. And it got so bad that in 2023, the Biden administration halted the sale of rifles to Israel because of all of these settler attacks. Ah yes, our greatest ally is using our own guns to attack Americans and innocent Palestinians. How wonderful. For those not familiar, Ben-Gvir is a far-right Israeli politician known for his bloodlust and eradicating Palestinians. He's the type of guy that enjoys wearing noose pendants on his shirt for fun. And here he is celebrating the recent law that legalized the death penalty for Palestinians. And this has widely been criticized as a racist apartheid law. As long as Ben-Gvir remains alive, he will be a guy that advocates for the ethnic cleansing of Palestinians entirely.
So the American taxpayer money is going to Palestine, to Israel, using it to kill Americans. Remember, our village is 80% American.
So me and you are both two American entrepreneurs who've paid a lot in taxes. What does it make you think when your hard-earned tax money is going to the death of your sons?
It kills you knowing that your own money funded people that directly had something to do with the murder of your own son?
Dude, oh man, I could. You want to talk about the foreign aid, or you want to talk about the shadow money that gets funneled through shadow nonprofits,
which is multitudes of more money.
Man, so like I could just talk about the Central Fund of Israel as an example. I think 98% of all funding that went towards the settlement expansion project went through this specific 501c3. They are 501c3.
You can get a tax rebate for this. Like, the U.S. is really just a big fat cow for them to just suck dry.
Use and abuse.
Israel would not be able to do what it does. It would not be able to have the control that it has and function as a state without the free money that we're giving them every year.
Talk about the 1960s. The Israeli settlers, they moved in, they took over land, they took over people's homes, and still to this day, you have on camera Israeli settlers marching into Palestinian homes, sitting down, going into the fridge and saying, "This is my house now."
What you don't know is that that's what Arabs do to them all the time.
Do you have video clips of that?
I can get you video clips of that, of course. I don't document it, but I know people who do.
I mean, unlawfully, we had Rabbi Levinger cross into Hebron and then go into an inn, tell the innkeeper he's a Swiss tourist, and then all of a sudden wake up and say he's not leaving. And that was the beginning of the settlements. How is that not clear theft?
In Hebron?
Mm-hmm.
So that's like literally the worst example you're giving, by the way.
What I would do if I was this guy, I'd be like, "Sorry, you're breaking up. Sorry, you're breaking up. What's up? Sorry, I can't hear you. Oh, got it. Sir. Oh, it gotta go."
Because Hebron is one of the smallest Jewish communities.
There's no incident ever in the history of Palestine where a Palestinian is just attacking an Israeli anywhere in the West Bank. Like, because to your point earlier, they shouldn't be there in the first place.
Thank you for the follow. Mindset, thank you for the follow.
Tell me how the Israeli settlers violate international
Shout out
law.
Mindset.
The fact that they're there in the first place is a violation of international law.
There's no pressure by the international community to hold Israel accountable for anything. Israel has us by the throat, and we can't and we won't hold them accountable. And if anybody else, if any of the other Arab nations try to do anything to Israel, we'll sanction them, we'll remove their funding, we might attack them.
By international law, is it legal for these settlers to be in the West Bank?
100% yes. With the caveat that it is disputed.
Because in 1967, Israeli Prime Minister
100% yes,
actually was against the settlements because he said
some
it
people say
directly
no.
violates the Geneva Convention and international law.
In order to answer that question, you actually have to go to what is actual international law that is binding.
The Israelis control all of their resources there, the water, the electricity. For 1 day per week, they get running water. The other 6 days of the week, they have to live off of water tanks. You would see empty water tanks on the side of the building, but they had bullet holes in them. They would drive by and shoot up the water tanks so that they don't have water the rest of the week.
Here, even the water is controlled. Israel's national water company, Mekorot, holds a complete monopoly over the West Bank's water supply. Because Palestinians are forbidden from drilling deep wells and require Israeli permits to dig on their own land, they have to buy their water back directly from Mekorot or rely on bringing in expensive water trucks. Now, Palestinians are only given water every 7 to 10 days, so their roofs are covered in black tanks to hold water in case the supply is cut off completely. But if you look nearby at the illegal Israeli settlements, they are plugged into the same Mekorot grid, and they are given 24/7 access to that water to do anything from fill swimming pools to water their lawns in the desert. Folks, make no mistake, this water monopoly is just another weapon in this apartheid system.
But are you familiar with the water company Mekorot?
Mekorot, yeah.
Palestinians' own water supply, it appears that the Israeli settlers receive 82% of the Palestinian water, and that furthermore in the summer, the Palestinians are they have a certain well distance they're prevented of digging from where the settlers are not restricted in that same manner, and that the Palestinians in their own land are restricted to water where the settlers are not.
I'm trying to take this seriously because this is literally the biggest sham that I've seen that goes out to people around the world. The nation of Israel, right? The country of Israel, it pipe and pump water into the Palestinian PA-controlled area in the West Bank and in Gaza with zero compensation from the Palestinians that use that water. Every year comes to the Israeli Knesset and they dispute the money or the debt that has been incurred because of the usage of all the water and the electricity. So both the electric company, which is only one electric company in Israel, we provide
That's
free
true,
water.
though. That's very true. One thing Jews like to do a lot is they like to give stuff for free. That's like one thing I've learned about Jewish people is that you can be assured that they're doing something really nice for other people. They love to give away stuff for free to people.
Free electricity to the PA, and every year
they're so nice they're so nice probably to the Palestinians, and then the Palestinians are probably like, no, I didn't get enough water. But really, it's the Jews just being so generous and giving free water for no reason.
companies bring the debt to the Knesset and say, this is the outstanding debt from years past, and the government basically says, tough crap, and you know what they do to compensate? They charge me more on my electricity and on my water.
Sometimes I just wonder, like, what would a true red-blooded conservative American that really does believe in the same
They charge
values
me
that we
more
believe,
for the-
right?
for the water.
You know, liberty, justice, freedom, defending yourself, right? Self-defense,
Dignity, honor,
dignity.
just basic things.
It makes me wonder, like, what would they do if they were under the same circumstances? You know, like, it's wild. Man.
I'll tell you what they'll do. We did a lot for a lot less.
For tea.
We
burned
literally,
down the country for tea.
you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the difference, right?
Is resisting anti-Semitic?
Personally, I don't think so.
Why are these older Christians so captured and invested in Israel?
We need to talk about John Darby and his creation of the theological ideology of dispensationalism, which is the
Facts.
idea that God has two different groups of chosen people.
Bro's tapped in.
He has the Christians, the church, and then he has the Jews. And so that's where Christian Zionism comes from, is from Darby.
Let's break down the mechanics of how Christians are actually funding this brutality you are witnessing. You see, Israel developed a brilliant plan. They do not have to convince the entire American public to participate in the settler movement. They just have to influence how our pastors think. What they do is fly thousands of pastors out to all expenses paid trips to Israel. And when they get their message across, these pastors return to the United States, where they proceed to funnel hundreds of millions of dollars annually into the settler movement. And the reason pastors do this is they believe that Jewish settlement of these areas is necessary
They don't
to
get
bring
paid.
about
They don't
the
believe they
second
get paid,
coming of
dude.
Christ. So essentially, to fulfill this prophecy, they are willing to enable the persecution and suffering of thousands along the way. It's actually insane to read about Jesus in the Bible helping the sick and the broken, and then to look up and see these American churches funding a movement that does not seem to respect Christians or even obey the 10 Commandments. Thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's property. I thought we had shared Judeo-Christian values. The cognitive dissonance is hard to understand.
So with that in mind, Christian Zionists think they have this fear through cognitive dissonance that if they oppose Israel for whatever reason, whether they're committing genocide blatantly in the open or not, they're turning their back on God. And that is deathly fearful to their mind, thinking to themselves, if I curse Israel, if I go against
viewer 774
Yo, go, dude.
678 sent $5.
Like garlic all the time. People complain.
Chewing, it's what gives you the breath because it gets in your teeth. What you do is you chop it up, throw it in your mouth, and drink it down with water. You don't chew it.
I would feel like I'm cheating. I'm kind of a glutton for those uncomfortable moments when you know you're doing something good. Like you're chomping down the garlic and you feel those juices hit your tongue and you're like,
Facts.
whoa! Your nose starts opening up like, woo!
Honestly, just facts. Thank you, Paul Town Viewer.
Israel, even
But yeah, what's funny about this is like it's not true. The reason they're doing it is they're either blackmailed or bribed. It's usually both. They're usually both getting paid and they're also being blackmailed.
they committed genocide, I'm going to go to hell maybe. They're just willful idiots to them. They don't care about Christianity. They don't care about Jesus. They hate Jesus. They don't care about America.
Guys, it is fascinating to watch Christian Zionists supporting Israel. After all, it is not going so well for Christians over in that part of the world. For starters, it appears it is culturally normal for Jewish adults and children to spit on Christians. And even Officer Tatum, a known Israeli mouthpiece, told Benjamin Netanyahu to his face that
I just
he
ate
got spit
fresh
on
garlic
when he
on bread with
visited the Holy Land.
HGH.
One
Nice.
incident where a small child spit on one of the pastors.
And let's be real, Israeli spitting is the least of Christian concerns over there. The IDF routinely prevents Christians from worshiping, and Israel literally bombed the last remaining Catholic church in Gaza.
Tonight, a look at the damage to Gaza's only Catholic church after it was struck by Israeli artillery,
which resulted in the Pope calling the act outright barbarity. Folks, if you are pissing the Pope off, you have to be f***ing up big time. And the craziest thing to me about this is that America
American Christian Zionists are actively funding this. Their churches donate tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars a year straight to Israel. And it makes me wonder, are these people aware that they are raising money for people that appear not to even like them? Blows my mind.
And to your knowledge, what do Jews
Shit ain't right. Shit ain't a game no more, bro.
From what I've heard, he's desecrating
Shit ain't a game no
human
more.
shit. Yeah, no, they see him as
it's nice that he's doing
false
it.
messiah. Like
It's a good video to do.
narratives about Jesus and about his mother, about Mary. They call her a whore, a harlot. You know, they call Jesus that he's like I said, a bastard. That he's burning in human excrement. They hate Christians more than they hate Muslims. It is very true that if a Christian were to walk down some areas in Jerusalem or others, that they would be spit on.
Alright, 10 inch here. I'm timing you out for day, dude. You're just like so nasty, negative today. So like, literally just like annoying, bro. So like cynical. Like, damn, bro, we don't need that. We don't need a bunch of cynical like people. You know what I mean? It's just literally just cynical. They're so long, dude. Just relax. Come on, bro. Somebody's doing something nice. Let it be nice. Somebody's trying to be nice. He's making a video. He could get in trouble, right? He could lose his channel. He could get like demonetized. But he's trying to tell the truth about something. Why are you gonna make fun of that? Why are you gonna be like callous and cynical about it? You know? Come on, dude.
Mother,
nice.
father, and children. They tell him, hey, spit, there's a Christian.
Not even talking, they just do it together. They just all do it. It's like a common practice.
My name is Stephen Kapos, and I am a child survivor of the Holocaust in Hungary, Budapest. I
think Tanachiro has had a very hard life. I think we all have, dude. I think we all have had like difficulties in life, but if somebody's just being negative, you can't be around them. That's like one thing. You just can't be around negative people. You know, if people are just constantly cynical and like negative about stuff, and like, no, you can have a negative appraisal of things, but being like super like I'm too cool for school, I'm like negative. I have there's no sincerity. There's no like desire to do something or have an ironic opinion. So I don't want to deal with that. You can go do that somewhere else. I don't want to deal with that. You know what I mean?
Papers, etc., which happened after October.
Yeah, I don't want to be miserable. I'm not trying to be miserable, dude. He should be, find a way, take a day off from the internet. Find a way to actually, he's in a group of friends. He's in a group of probably people who are very positive, working on stuff, trying our best. Don't try to drag people down. Try to be happy.
Soon after, our location was caught up in the fight.
I just had Jimmy John's. I don't have time or space for this. You know what I mean? I just had Jimmy John's.
I think that's an
I'm
important
gonna smoke some weed.
Understanding Gaza, because
you know
I can
what I mean?
relate to their experience both of the destruction
and
the fighting, as well as the insecurities of hiding.
Yes. Are you Jewish?
I am indeed, yes.
Would you consider yourself to be anti-Semitic?
Of course not.
And I don't either, but this is how you're going to be labeled and I'm going to be labeled just for speaking out about Israel. Have you gotten attacks like that before?
Yes, I have.
How ridiculous do you find them?
The Holocaust happened? Is that true?
Facts.
Facts, it is. Rest in peace. Rest in peace to everybody who died in the Holocaust.
In your assessment, do Israelis view Palestinians in the same way that Germans viewed the Jews?
Yes, I'm afraid, to some extent, unfortunately.
Before we cover the details of your son's murder, can you say who your son was, what he was up to in Florida before he got killed?
My son actually was running the ice cream shop with me, 20-year-old.
Sounds fake.
He graduated high school.
Sounds like a fake story.
Like 2.5 years ago. I'm kind of.
What is that code for being a terrorist?
Like I've run clothing stores. I've done many kind of businesses and stuff like that. I guess he wanted to, follow in my footsteps. We found this ice cream shop, so we kind of opened it, and he was running it the whole time. I lived back and forth between the West Bank and the States, and he was living here in Tampa, Florida, permanently.
Yeah, it's a nice video.
Describe what happened when your son got killed.
Basically, this summer, his son wanted to go and visit his mother his brother and sister, and me. We were all in the West Bank. And I said, it's fine. Then you go ahead and go. This was back in June. So I told him, since you want to stay here for a little bit longer, I'm basically gonna have to go to the States and take your place. So I left on July 11th, seeing all these missed calls, and then I seen, the group messaging going like bonkers. And I opened it up, and it's showing that the son of Kamil, is basically missing or injured. I called up my son, my younger son, and he told me that Saif, your son, is unconscious right now, and something happened in the mountains. So I kept going back and forth, and I was like, someone tell me what's going on. No reply whatsoever. So I knew there's something more going on. Then I called my son Saif's phone, but the person that answered was not him. It was one of his friends, and he told me, he's okay. At that moment, my son was unconscious. I was like, it just gets me every time, man. It's just... What happened was that Israeli settlers ambushed these young people that were going there to the lands. They were beaten, brutally beaten. So what had happened is Saif was beaten, and he started running, and all the friends kind of dispersed. And on his way down, he basically found this tree. When he reached under this tree, he kind of lost it. His eyes were open, but there was no response from them. He stayed in that state for hours because the ambulance was prevented from the Israeli soldiers to come in. When they finally reached them, because the terrain is kind of rough in that area, the ambulance got as close as they can. They put him on the stretcher. My younger son seen this, and he told me, Dad, basically 5 minutes before he got into the ambulance is when he took his last breath. The delay of the Israeli, army delaying to get to him, the paramedics or any medical assistance, it had a big impact in the killing of my son. When they were on their way to the hospital, until finally after about 30 minutes later, he called me up. And, he told me, he said, Dad, I don't know how to tell you, but your son was killed. And, Saifullah is gone. And I was like, I don't know, the hardest moment of my life, because you don't expect that ever to happen to your own son, and you're always expecting that he's gonna bury you. His whole thing was to make me proud, man. That was his thing. I want to make my dad proud. I don't want to disappoint him. I was never disappointed, in anything he did, It's hard to tell me, man. It's just, because you miss him, man. 20 years old.
The Israeli settlers are a cancer to the fabric of Israeli society. What do you think about that?
Completely untrue.
Do you think that would be anti-Semitic?
No. I think it's a political opinion that some people hold.
Yeah, the former Prime Minister of Israel, actually. That was the quote of the former Prime Minister of Israel, Yitzhak Rabin.
Sure.
So I feel like when I tell you violence that is happening today, you try and take it back to 2,000 years ago. I'm talking about the violence
2,000 years ago.
I'm talking about the violence happening right now in the West Bank, and especially in areas that are Territory A, that should be under full Palestinian authority. They are still being patrolled by IDF, and they are still being overran by Israeli settlers that are armed with American guns.
That's completely incorrect. So Israelis do not enter Area A, because if you enter Area A, it's punishable by Israeli law very heavily. Number one.
Well, I just want to get that quote. Israeli settlers are not entering Area A. That's what you're saying.
They are not. They should not be. It is punishable by Israeli law. That's a big legal problem. You're not allowed to do that.
These lands are our lands. It's under Area A, not under Area B, not under Area C, which is Israeli authority. Now, these are land under Palestinian authority. These are lands that were passed down to us. And these Israeli settlers are going there Since April.
What I can tell you is you're talking about settler violence, right? And the statement that you just made about them being a cancer, I completely disagree with that. And here's why, because again, that's a political opinion from the left and they're entitled to it, and that's fine. I mean,
no, your former prime minister said that.
The left wing, damn, the left, the woke, dude. The woke really hates Israel.
That's part of the democracy.
And the woke loves
Palestine. I completely disagree with
Palestine.
that. As a security professional, as somebody who's been in Judea, Samaria, a lot of our politicians, ironically, have not.
That's another sleight of hand, by the way.
Other areas.
Referring to as Judea, Samaria as a sleight of hand that Israelis are using to not be in the same ballpark about what we're talking about. No one else refers to it as Judea, Samaria except for the Israelis.
That's incorrect. I just sat down with the ambassador of the United States, Mike Huckabee, the other day.
The biggest Zionist in the fucking room.
Judea and Samaria. There's no such thing as a settlement. They're communities, they're neighborhoods, they're cities. There's no such thing as an occupation.
I sat with the president.
That's kind of important. I don't know. Have you sat with the ambassador of the United States ever?
Go ahead.
So, being an honored guest at the U.S. Embassy here in Jerusalem.
Bro was an honored guest.
In our meeting, we actually asked him about this very term and his staffers, and they confirmed that,
The most
yes,
mediocre person ever.
that
I was an
is a
honored guest
term
for the president of the
that
United States.
Some of the staffers use, and
yeah, I was
West
just the
Bank
best
for
friend of the
clarity,
president,
because
and I
people
just got to hang out with the
They
president.
get confused because they don't understand these terminologies.
So I'm here at the site.
Just a
I can't get
mediocre
close
inbred
to
person. Oh
the
yeah,
area
I was
that
just
was
hanging out
killed
with your government officials all day.
I fear from my
Sorry, I was busy hanging out with all the
Israeli
government
settlers
officials for your country.
Dangerous, and behind me is the area that my son was killed. 3 hours.
Crazy.
Having a hard time breathing with no help.
Let's break down some of these details. Number one, can you just describe how many Israeli settlers there were, how old you think they were, and did they hit him? Did they have sticks? Did they have, describe who this group was and what they did to your son?
They have this group called the Hilltop
Damn.
Gang. Or Hilltop
The BBV tokens at $8?
Clan.
Crazy.
And
I guess at
basically
$7.
going around all these areas.
How much is it at? Let's see. Ooh, it's at $8. Wow. Huh. Crazy. Crazy. Who could have predicted it? You know? One of those things, who could predict
in
that?
West Bank.
It's just one of those
And
things.
Trying to claim or put outposts saying that this is their land, They had
Shit,
clubs.
it's too easy.
There was one of his friends, he just had some major ACL reconstruction.
It's too easy,
he
bro.
Had his whole
Power
knee
Touch Alive
busted from
/Paul
in,
Town.
out, everywhere. He's barely walking now. There was another guy, he had his head busted with all this, I think he had 12 or 13 stitches on his head.
Feeling your wife low-key
IDF
dies.
played in your son?
The fuck, dude? Did
IDF
Pine Sap's
played a
wife
big
die?
role. Them preventing the ambulance to get to him earlier is
What is
a
Richard
big
Spence? Is he
cause,
Rencher? Richard Rencher?
in
Richard
leading
Rencher
to
now?
this murder.
So if the IDF soldiers had simply let an ambulance treat a wounded person that was attacked,
Come
good
on.
chance.
Dude, come on, bro. Power Touch Alive /Paul Town.
Baby boy messed up his head. He was molested as a baby boy. Messed up his head, it even changed the way he played with toys. Up late night rapping and they told him to quit making noise. Stuck in his feelings, he been spending every day annoyed. He wanna stand over a nigga, leave his face destroyed. He miss his hood now.
Come on, go. Come on, guys. Why? Geoff. Yeah, so her tongue. Dude, that's funny. Okay, that's funny. That's good. Chris is risen. What is Spexo doing? iPhone 17 looking on eating. Dude, come on, bro. This shit ain't funny anymore, bro. This shit ain't funny anymore, dude. Peter Thiel core. This sounds good. No, this sounds really good, dude. This is good, yeah, it's really good, honestly. Bro, looks like he kidnaps kids in a van with Candy Professional. Candy Professionally, let's see. Oh, the things you will go, places you will go as a Jewish person. Ah, the places you will go when you're Jewish. Nowhere good.
Today he'd be alive.
Yes, 100%.
So this would be like if an innocent man was attacked by a mob and the very
Yeah, I turned off the AI image wars and TTS stuff. I didn't really like it. It was too much stuff.
police that are supposed to protect him kept the ambulance from coming.
Blocked them completely, yes.
Are IDF soldiers supposed to protect the Palestinians?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Why in this case would the
We're not supposed to. We're mainly supposed to protect Israelis.
Right, that's what
But
happens, yeah.
In carrying out that mission, we are also not allowed to harm others. So in other words, to avoid...
Wow, beautiful. We're not allowed to harm other people. We're actually the best people in the world. And you kill everybody?
Casualties from anybody, which would include Palestinians.
I'm not refunding Paul Shermy's points.
Would you consider it to be harm to block a ambulance from treating someone for over 3 hours that just got attacked by a mob of settlers?
Yeah, of course, if that's true. Yeah. How come you don't mention the killing of Benjamin Ahmair, a 14-year-old? He was killed in April 12th, 2024, during the war that we've been in. Why don't we mention, I don't know, and you said rocks isn't a big deal. If you recall in our conversation, we kind of discussed a little bit some of the talking points you wanted to cover. Well, just rocks killed Yehuda Shoam in 2001. It killed Yonatan Palmer and his son in 2011.
And those are real. These are real stories that are real. And they're real. And even if they were fake, they're real.
Okay? These were people that just were commuting on the roads.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't settler violence. It wasn't anything that you hear. Oh, and by the way, according to the United Nations...
That baby was commuting. That baby was commuting on the road.
Reports that you're reading and that you're quoting to me about all the settler violence, this goes under the settler violence.
Why are you doing this for settler violence?
Because he was driving on the road. Well, how is that settler violence? We cry for the one guy. We never talk about the other. There's two people here. In fact, there's many peoples here.
A few things. One, any innocent Israeli that gets killed that is a shame, and we are in agreement. However, the reason one side is more accentuated is because it's a sheer volume problem. When you said 2001, 2011, 2024, there's a lot of gaps. I'm talking about almost on a daily basis. Hold on, you spoke for like 6 minutes straight. I'm gonna talk just a little bit, okay? It's the sheer volume of these things happening. Israel ambassador Mike Huckabee tweeted at Israel, and he's a guy that's as Zionist as you can get.
Yeah.
He even tweeted at Israel that it was a murder and that there needed to be accountability for your son's death.
Yeah, it was an act of terror, he called it. It's been 6 months. There haven't been
the baby was going to work,
leads
dummy.
to the investigation. U.S. Department of State they did no investigation. The FBI didn't do an investigation, even though it's a U.S. citizen. On top of everything, me, my wife, my whole family have a security ban on us by the Israeli authorities. I can't even go through Tel Aviv airport anymore. I can't go to Ben Gurion airport anymore. I can't enter Jerusalem anymore.
Yes, you heard that correctly. Israeli settlers murdered his son, and the Israeli government responded by giving Kamal's family collective punishment. They can no longer fly into Tel Aviv, but rather have to take an extremely long route through another country to get to their land in the West Bank. Furthermore, shortly after his son's murder, he was threatened by the Israeli army that if he did not voluntarily come in for a DNA swab, that they would arrest him and kidnap him in a raid. So illegal squatters killed his son, the Israeli army blocked the ambulance from rescuing him, and yet they still continue to terrorize his family to this day. And this, folks, is textbook Israeli behavior.
Where's the accountability, let's say, for the murder of Saif Musalla?
I wasn't there. I know there's a lot of controversy on that particular incident. To my knowledge, he was up to no good. I actually get the actual report of what happened that the media did not tell. And you read the report and you're like, holy crap, it's completely different than what the media portrayed. Because the media wants a story.
The media
hates Jews. It doesn't lead.
One thing you might not know about the media is that it hates Jews. There's two people, the media and the government, and they both really hate Jews.
One of them being that you said
also
that settler violence is overwhelmingly worse against the Palestinians. Yes, because the United Nations are the ones that they collect the information, they pump it to the media, and what they do is they fudge the numbers. They sometimes triple the number of cases where there's settler violence and or altercations with the Israeli security forces. You're looking at it from the way that you're looking at it, but I know the people that are living through it.
Do you agree with Mike Huckabee's assessment that it was a murder of Saif Musalla?
I don't agree with him because, with his statement, if you like, because it's an unprofessional statement if that's what he said.
As if your nightmare couldn't get any worse from your son getting killed, a few months ago, your nephew was brought into Israeli prison on the pretext of throwing a rock.
Yeah, they come to the door, banging on the door. My brother-in-law opened the door before they busted it because they don't give no chances. You know, they're just, you know, when they come in, he's thinking like, what the hell did I do? He's not thinking that they're coming for his 15-year-old son. They take him for allegedly throwing these rocks, take him to an Israeli military police, blindfold him, put him in handcuffs, and then that was the last time that the mother, father, brothers, sisters, anybody had any physical contact or seen him directly.
That's crazy,
until the day that he was released on November 27th, I think it was.
Tell me like the bullet points of what happened to him in that 9.5 months in prison.
He got scabies. He lost 25 pounds. He said they would make cards, playing cards, from napkins. And when the guards found those, they would take it and rip it and throw it away in the garbage. They would pound on them and then, you know, give them a kick here, a kick there. Their food was so scarce, they would give him like a meal that's for one person, but they would have to divide it between 4 to 5 people. When he came out, he was so pale, man. You can just see like, this kid has not has no sunlight.
He turned 16 while in prison.
He turned 16 while in prison.
So he had been beaten, starved, infested by bugs as a 15-year-old kid.
And the scabies just stayed. Even after he got out in November, he kept on itching.
And this is an American citizen?
This is an American citizen.
Where does he live?
You know, born U.S. American citizen, from Florida also. This is Saifullah's first cousin. My wife and his mother are sisters.
Generally speaking, how are Palestinians treated in Israeli prisons? It's a known fact that before the 7th of October, things were pretty bad. But after the 7th of October, the Shabak decided to start implementing tactics, torture tactics, where they use dogs to rape people. They torture them methodically, they don't give them food, they starve them on purpose, they beat them up methodically. And mind you, this is not just for older people, this is for 14-year-old prisoners or even younger that they have to face this treatment. It's concentration camps. The Israeli prisons are pretty much concentration camps at this point.
Every day from on top of my house, I can see the Batin area, which is the area that my son was killed. But I can't get there yet. Israeli settlers are still there, armed and dangerous. I want to know a little bit about this night patrol that you guys do every night.
لجنة حراسات سنجل شكلنا هذه لجنة الحراسات من الاعتداءات المستوطنين المستمرة في هذا البلد. طبعا احنا جماعة متطوعين من حالنا طبعا، ولا من اي مؤسسة ولا من اي حدا. تطوع من اهل بلدنا، مختارين من اهل البلد. احنا لجنة مشكلة تقريبا 200 واحد، مقسمين حالنا 4 تقسيمات لحماية أهل سنجل وأطفال سنجل ونساء سنجل وبنات سنجل. طبعا الاعتداءات مستمرة في البلد، كل يوم في اعتداء من المستوطنين.
That was the day that this night patrol started, was after my son was brutally murdered and killed by the Israeli settlers on this mountain that I cannot even reach yet. I haven't reached my land yet since that time. So hopefully this will all be solved and some accountability will come to these settlers.
Folks, we just saw a snapshot of what is happening every single day to Palestinians. And we uncovered the murder of an American citizen, the imprisonment of an American citizen. And I think we have to start asking ourselves the question, what are we doing aligned with Israel? What are they doing in the world that we agree with from a humanitarian standpoint? And as I speak right now, we are 4 weeks into a war with Iran that arguably they got us into in the first place. And now we see announcements that Trump might send American troops to fight on the ground, but Israel will not commit to any ground troops. And we have to ask, is this really our greatest ally? And I think we all know the answer. How long are we going to back up what is happening to people in Gaza, the people in Palestine, now the people in South Lebanon? How far is this going to go? I don't want to be a part of it. I don't want my tax dollars to be a part of it. And quite frankly, I'm sick of this. It's depressing to see this, but one way we can get involved is to help fund organizations like PalShield. So I'm going to donate. I encourage you to as well. It's time for us to wake up.
I don't know. I wouldn't trust any of these organizations, but good for him.
This world. Who is going to help our international relationships? Because I think the clear answer is it's not Israel.
That's crazy. Mike Huckabee, you have blood on you. Mike Huckabee, we're coming for you. No, we're not, because I don't want to get in prison. I don't go to prison. But good video. Excellent video. Good job. We'll see if his does he have a Patreon? We'll see if his Patreon stays up. That'd be funny if he gets taken down. It probably will stay up because of the way he worded it. But it might get taken down, honestly. But good for him. Good for him. I gotta stop anti-Semitism ad on this video. You can't make this shit up. You really believe in advertising, so the Christian donations pay for it. Facts. It's because they just bought YouTube. They already owned it, brah. Good job, though. Very good. We're not coming for you, dog. Chill. No, but it's nice to have. It's nice to have somebody tell the truth. Somebody tell the truth and to be sincere. So hopefully it really once again all that matters is you get the views. As long as you can get the views, and that's like exponential because people will tell their friends, they'll share it with their friends, it'll be downloaded.
Once you become
it's like that, and then the Tyler Oliveira guy, that guy's good too. Like he has 200,000 views on this, and then he has how many? 8 million on this. 8 million on this, and that's a lot of people. Doesn't sound like a lot, but it's like young people too. So it'll be very, very interesting. It'll be interesting to see as things go older, you know, somebody like Nick too every day. It'll be very interesting to see as time goes on over the next few years. Next few months. Interesting. But it'll be interesting because it's not going to change. Like, they never do it. They never change. Like, never say, oh, okay, you're right. They never stop. They never stop. So, but if nobody likes it, it'll be interesting to see what happens, because then they have to use like police to enforce stealing your money and enforce things, which will happen, because the police will do that. People will sign up to be police to get paid to do that. But that's like good. And like the further we go along down that route, the better, because the faster we get to that point, the faster things can get better.